His Divine Grace for last few decades. She, along with her husband, Shyam Sundar Prabhu, were one of the 6 people to start the center in London. She dedicated her life and soul to serve the movement, and we all have lot to learn from her own personal experiences and aspire to serve the mission following her footsteps. We are very fortunate and grateful for her presence and association. With great enthusiasm, please welcome Her Grace Malati Prabhu. Please chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra one time, loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
And devotees, please, everybody can just bring their energy here in this room and please sit down wherever you find space, please. Make yourself comfortable. Please come here. There's a lot of space up here. Come in, Guru. Come in. There's a lot of space. Sarvashweta, you can come.
Here? Hare Krishna. Shri Gaura Purnima Hotsava ki jai. Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai. His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I notice we're having a little microphone issue here. Can people, can you hear? Okay. So, welcome everybody, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to join you on this wonderful, very special occasion. Normally, before we have a class, we will sing the beautiful devotional bhajan by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Jai Radha Madhava. But on the occasion of Gaura Purnima this evening, I will mention a verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is a very exquisite book about the life and teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the verse, yeah, we don't have to put it up, but I like this picture, so it would be nice if that could stay up. The verse is from the Adi Leela 455. And some of you may recognize the verse, or at least part of it, particularly the last line. So, Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikitir Haladini Shaktir Ashmad Vikat Manava Pibuvi Pura Dehi Vedam Vatotao Chaitanya Kyam Prakutam Aduna Tadvayam Shakayam Aptam Radha Bhava Duti Suvalitam Name Krishna Swarupam. So, I jumped ahead of myself. Let's also chant 3 times the Maha Mantra for Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha, kripa sindhubhaya, patitanam pavanebhyo, vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So the last line of the verse is one that is sometimes quite well known. Radhabhava Duti Suvalitam Nomi Krishna Swarupam. The translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestation of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency. Although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity, they separated themselves eternally. Now, these two transcendental identities have again united in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. I bow down to him who has manifested himself with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani, although he is Krishna himself. And the purport is one line. This text is from the diary of Swarup Damodar Goswami. It appears as the fifth of the first 14 verses of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Om Agyantamirandasya Dhanana Sakaya Chakshum Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavari Vaskasya Desakarne. So in February, in the year of 1486, at the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, it was described that all the constellations were perfectly situated. Just recently, we had a very interesting situation with the constellations and stars, and they were lined up in some kind of miraculous form, which happens like very rarely. So in 1486, February, all of the constellations were perfectly situated, and Mother Earth was experiencing great happiness. Transcendental joy was manifested in everyone's heart, although they didn't even know why. But due to the Lord's desire, there was a lunar eclipse, and everyone in Navadvip went to bathe in the Ganga and chant the holy names. Now note, there was an eclipse. They didn't shut their doors and lock their doors. They didn't stop cooking. They went out and chanted the holy name. And we were hearing some things like that. And so we asked Prabhupada, what do we do? And he goes, go out and Sankirtan and chant. So that's what we do. We don't lock our temples up and don't worship, and stop worshiping the deities and hide somewhere. No, we go out and chant the holy name. So this was the auspicious moment that the Lord chose to appear. Now, he had been waiting for this moment. So he was like 11 months, I think it was, in his mother's womb, waiting for this moment. Now, during this era, like for a little background on planet Earth, what was going on in other events at that same time. 2 years earlier, in 1484, Pope Innocent VIII had a papal bull, means a decree, it's a very big thing, condemning witchcraft. And in the British Isles, Henry VII began his reign from August of 85, and he married Elizabeth of York. And he made a gold coin equal to £1 sterling called the sovereign. So even to this day, the pound is the money from England, you know. So that started then. And then, Ahuitzotl, he became the Aztec ruler in 1486. And then in the following year, 87, Ahuitzotl had a new temple in Tenochtitlan, and it was dedicated to the gods in a ceremony that went on for 4 days. And then, as many as 2,000 prisoners of war were sacrificed on their altar. So that, on one hand, you have this temple going on, and then you have like mass genocide. 1492, Christopher Columbus, we're here, named after this man. He sailed from Spain and he landed in the New World. Now, he landed in the Caribbean, but he thought he'd reached the islands of India beyond the Ganges. So therefore, he was calling people, the natives, Indians. And that is why the native people in our country are known as Indians. It was a miscalculation on Christopher Columbus' part. But this man is not the hero we all once thought. He actually brutally mistreated the natives. And it was also that year that the beginning of African slave trade, spearheaded by the Portuguese, began. And the USA did not exist as a named country. I mean, naturally the land was here, but United States of America had not been designated yet. So Srila Prabhupada completed the teachings of Lord Chaitanya on Gaur Purnima in 1968. And I want to read the first and last paragraph of Srila Prabhupada's preface, which is now 57 years old. But the message is eternal. The first paragraph reads, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, a treatise on factual spiritual life by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Acharya, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. This was, of course, before Srila Prabhupada was being addressed as Prabhupada. And the headquarters was listed at 61 2nd Avenue, New York City, 1003. Srila Prabhupada dedicated his offering to the sacred service of Srila Sachinanda Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who had initiated the teachings of Lord Chaitanya in the Western world by sending a small book, The Life and Precepts of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to McGill University in Montreal, Canada in 1896. So this is part of the preface. And 1896, Prabhupada noted, the year of my birth, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. One time somebody asked Prabhupada, when did you first remember Krishna? And he answered, September 1st, 1896. And the person thought he didn't understand the question. So he asked him again, and he repeated, September 1st, 1896. In other words, he said, I never forgot him. So this book went to the McGill University in Canada. So this is the first time any effort, any knowledge of the Sankirtan movement spearheaded by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left the boundaries of India. And this preface also became the preface for the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, which was written a few years later. In that he says, there is no difference between the teachings of Lord Chaitanya presented here and the teachings of Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. The teachings of Lord Chaitanya is a practical demonstration of the teachings of Lord Krishna. So this is something to, keep in mind. People get sometimes a little confused. Who's Gauranga? The teachings of Lord Chaitanya is a practical demonstration of the teachings of Lord Krishna. So in the Bhagavad Gita, the last word of the Lord is that everyone should surrender unto him, Lord Krishna. And he would take immediate charge of such a surrendered soul. Have no fear. And so the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is already in charge of the maintenance of his creation by his plenary expansion as Kurodakshaya Vishnu. But such a maintenance of the Lord is not specific, and therefore the Lord takes charge. And it means he takes particular charge of a pure devotee. And Prabhupada described what is a pure devotee. A pure devotee is a soul ever surrendered to the Lord, like a child to his parents or an animal to his master. And at the conclusion of the preface, Srila Prabhupada writes, one has to suffer or enjoy the fruits of one's activities, and no one can check the laws of material nature which govern such things so long as one is engaged in such activities, material activities. One is sure to be baffled. Baffled means like bewildered, in an attempt to achieve the ultimate goal of life. And then he writes, I hope, therefore, most sincerely, that by understanding the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, human society will have a new light of spiritual life, opening the field of activities to the pure soul. And he finished, Om Tat Sat, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, 14th March 1968, the birthday of Lord Chaitanya, Sri Sri Hare Krishna Temple, New York, New York. So it's interesting, like he wrote, sometimes I'll tell people, yeah, he called this Lord Chaitanya's birthday. So today we are celebrating the birthday. And Prabhupada put it in writing. And then he said, I'm not exactly releasing this book, but this book will release us from the repeated cycle of birth and death. Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So in Amsterdam, the morning class consisted of a 1-hour reading from the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. And then, do we have that book here?
Yes.
Great. So whoever would like to get, like you can say, we'd say TLC, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. If you feel at this point you can't handle 17 volumes of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, at least take Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, condensed version of the teachings of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was a great lover of Navadvip Dham. And in the early 1970s, Srila Prabhupada had about 50 temples. Some of them like this, and others of greater expanse. One of them was in Los Angeles, a beautiful temple. And then in New York City on 55th Street, West 55th, it was a skyscraper, multi floors. So why did Srila Prabhupada choose to make his ISKCON world headquarters in a desolate rice paddy in West Bengal? There was no decent road to get there. And except for Bengalis, hardly anyone in the planet had even heard of Mayapur. There were some very nice little Gaudiya mats, and it was mostly populated by Muslims. Then it was so isolated and actually even dangerous. So around that same time, Srila Prabhupada visited Gainesville, Florida. How many have been down to like Alachua and Gainesville? Yeah, some of you. So here's what he began a lecture by saying, I have come to this remote part of the world, and I'm so far from Sri Navadip Dham Mayapur, the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya, because he considered Mayapur the center of the spiritual universe. So the first real gathering, we had our little GAURA PURNIMAs, the first one in New York City and San Francisco in '67, but small. We barely understood what was going on. But the first massive festival was in ISKCON Mayapur, celebrated by Prabhupada's order in 1972. And it was a preface to the Nectar of Devotion Kartik series at Radha Damodar in Vrindavan later in the year. Now, we thought it was a massive event, but there was like maybe 40 or 50 of us. It wasn't widely attended by the international devotees, but it set the standard for the festival that has become the backbone of annual Vaishnava Sangha and celebrations in Mayapur and Vrindavan, and attracting now hundreds and thousands of devotees. Leo Mundry just returned, and how many thousands were there? Can't even say. Yeah. But back then, it was just like a really humble beginning. 50, maybe 60 eager participants. And Srila Prabhupada really surprised us by bringing us to this rice paddy field off the side of a pothole-filled dirty road without any nearby civilization. A small straw hut that Srila Prabhupada lived in, and he had a small Vastitis of Radha Madhava. There were many snakes swimming in the Ganges, and there was cobras in the fields. And during the monsoon, the Ganga would flood and sometimes just cover everything. Drinking, bathing, and cooking water came from this hand pump surrounded by mud due to lack of drainage. And the water required boiling to drink. Electricity had only arrived just a few months earlier, and it was not constant. We had two lines, one cord in Prabhupada's little quarters with a dangling light bulb, and then another out on the stage where we would hold our programs. For us, it was a massive culture shock, and we were wondering, what on earth could possibly happen here? As Srila Prabhupada was confidently explaining, this will be our world headquarters. And he talked about the temple as a Vedic planetarium, and he gave a basic design for it. It will be one of the largest temples in Asia, he said. And he told us that tens of thousands of devotees from every part of the world would be living there. Again, just a handful of devotees in reality were there, and we were struggling with malaria, typhoid, boils, dysentery. We were struggling with our minds. We were struggling just to get a little rice to offer to the deities and eat. But Srila Prabhupada had full faith in the words of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Long before, when Thakur Bhaktivinoda lived across the river from Mayapur in Gudram, he had a vision of a glorious temple where devotees, Vaishnavas from America, from Europe, from Russia, from India, from all over the world would gather together as brothers and sisters, dancing and chanting the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And he was saying, when when, oh, when will that day come? And Prabhupada was seeing that that day was coming and had even started. So much trouble just to get there. First, you take a train to Howrah Station in Calcutta. We weren't using airplanes too much in those days. And the trains that we took, we called them three-tier on the board. It meant no padding on the seat. And if you were going on overnight journeys, well, there would be these wooden things that would lift up, and there would be three. So it means 1, 2, 3, like triple bunk bed. And there was no bedding, unless you happened to bring some. And if you happened to be like underneath a baby, well, they didn't put nappies or diapers on their kids. I found that out myself. So we take that train to Howrah Station in Calcutta. Somehow you'd get through nobody would stand aside and wait for you. You're trying to get off and they're trying to get in, and so you finally get through that crowd, and then you'd go to a packed up local train. So not only was that local train packed up with people, there was goats and chickens and other type of creatures, some sheep, and of course people. And you would go to Krishna Nagar. And then you would take a boat across the river and then walk for miles, carrying your luggage. And if you had a kid, you'd be carrying your kid along with the luggage. Or you'd wait for the occasional local bus to take you to a rice paddy, where that simple straw hut was amidst a small construction site in the background and a rickety bamboo stage in the distance. This was our festival site and our future world headquarters. The only thing on the road was a post office down by the Gaudiya nuts. And that post office was smaller than this portion of the temple room. It was like this little tiny thing. That was the only business. There weren't even chai wallas. There was no sabji wallas. There was nothing but that road. Still, the devotees overall were blissful because we weren't seeing through our eyes. But, unless one's eyes are Brahmandana Charita Bhakti Vilotena, unless your eyes are anointed with decorated with the salve of love, you have to see. You will only see the external appearance. But Srila Prabhupada was teaching us how to see through our ears. So we were seeing with faith in the words of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. And in that way we could see as it is. And Srila Prabhupada was pleased. He was so enthusiastic. We have this land. It's the heart of the spiritual world. The holiest of all holy places. Not different from Vrindavan. And when he spoke like that with such exuberance about how Mayapur would manifest, then we also became equally enlivened on the basis of our faith in the impossible. Much the same as when we came to the UK from USA. We had nothing to back us up. We didn't know anybody, but we had our strong desire to do something for Swamiji, for Prabhupada, by helping him to push on this movement. And that is a standalone instruction to everyone who gets connected to this movement. Somehow or other, we must help push on this movement. It's an instruction that will exist for all ISKCON members now, in the past, and into the future. So the teachings of Lord Chaitanya was a summary of Chaitanya Charitamrita. And as he was translating the Bhagavatam, already having completed Sri Upanishad and Bhagavad Gita as it is, nectar of devotion, he simultaneously decided, I must give my students Chaitanya Charitamrita so that they can present it to the world. So in that year there was a marathon for the distribution of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, but before it could be distributed, it had to be printed. Before it could be printed, it had to be formatted. Before it was just that he had been writing the purports, and things were pretty much ready as far as the translating and the transliteration and all. But they were just sitting in the old war. Prabhupada said, I want this completed in 2 months for publication. Such an important book. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur took him years and years to get a copy of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which he heard about as a young boy in his parents' compound. There he was in West Bengal, and things had gotten so degenerated he couldn't even find a copy of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Finally, at the age of 34, he was in Jagannath Puri. There was a knock on the door, and somebody was there with a cloth and wrapped up, and he opens it up and on leaves, because that's how things were at that time. I mean, printing presses were there, but ancient history books, ancient Shastric books, they were still like on hand. So this person hands him these leaves wrapped up, and he said, I understand you want this. It's the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he read it and he reread it and he studied it and studied it. And by this immersion, he became convinced without a doubt about the supremacy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as God, as Krishna. Just like the verse I read said. So we were sleeping, Prabhupada's translating. And then, yes, I want this finished in 2 months for publication. And then, 2 months, so many volumes. The BBT, the Bhaktivedanta Trust book leader said, Srila Prabhupada, that's impossible. That's more than 10 times that we've ever done before. And of course, Prabhupada replied with that famous zinger, impossible is a word in a fool's dictionary. Now, actually, I did a number of years ago, fact checking on that thing. So it actually was first uttered. Impossible is a word in Fool's Dictionary. Napoleon Bonaparte. He was like this little dictator of, they called him Petit Nabot, little guy, because he wasn't very big. So impossible, a word in the Fool's Dictionary. So then they got together and they said, okay, we'll do it. And someday I hope maybe I can give a whole class on this whole marathon, where the culmination of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which has a total of 11,519 verses, of which 851 verses are drawn from 53 other scriptures. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prophesied that in every town and village, the names of Krishna will be chanted. Nityananda Prabhu saw Lord Chaitanya in a village near Puri, getting thousands of people to participate in kirtan. And he too made the same prediction that in every town and village, the holy names will be chanted. So that fateful first meeting in the year 1922, when our Srila Prabhupada met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he received his life mission. We're here today because of this directive. You're an intelligent young man. Take the message of Lord Chaitanya to the Western world, preaching in English. So after Srila Prabhupada was, what is, huh?
Close the door. Close the window.
Thank you. So after Srila Prabhupada was given free passage on the Jaladuta, the ship that brought him to America, by Srimati Sumati Moraji, he then took a train alone most likely third class, because he was never one to waste even a paisa for the 40-hour trip from Bombay to Calcutta. So he got the passage in Bombay, and then he goes back to Calcutta, and he traveled to Mayapur to receive the blessings of his Guru Maharaj at his Guru Maharaj's Samadhi, and to receive the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda to take their message to the West. So he had this free passage. One time there was 67, we got this opportunity to have Srila Prabhupada on a radio show in San Francisco. And it was very widely, people tuned in, they liked it. But the thing was, the host would insult the guest. So on one hand, you'll get a lot of audience. On the other hand, we were a little worried about Prabhupada getting insulted, Swamiji getting insulted. So we asked him, he goes, it doesn't matter, at least he'll hear Krishna's name. He was so dedicated to spreading. So he gave, you get a little, everything's timed. So he gave his little, in the time he was allotted, he spoke. And then the next part of the show, people could call in. So we're all by our phones, and the first person called in, Swamiji, what does it mean, Hare Krishna? And it was Gargamuni. And then the next caller was obviously a devotee. So then the radio show host, and we were amazed. At this point, he hadn't said anything like sarcastic, he'd been quite a gentleman. So he says, I think all the callers are your followers, so let's try somebody else. So this lady goes, Swamiji. She was very sarcastic. So you came over with a free passage on the boat? Yes. So you're a freeloader? So if you don't know what freeloader means, it's a really rude, it means, like, it means what it sounds like. So the minute she said that, we're thinking, oh my God, now this radio show the host will let loose. And he said, well, I think we've had enough of her, and he knocked her off, which shows how a pure devotee can capture the heart of even the most cynical personality. So then Srila Prabhupada stopped in Shantipur, and that was the very place where Advaita Prabhu had prayed, doing kirtan and pujas to bring Krishna to this world, to establish the Sankirtan movement. So Advaita Prabhu was the leader of all the Brahmins, and he had a house on the bank of the Ganges. And a small group of devotees, they would meet in Navadvip, they'd hold kirtan, they'd invoke Harikatha. At the same time, Advaita was in distress. So why was he in distress? So he was simultaneously experiencing the highest pleasure of love of God. But the distress was because that's the nature of pure love. One who has Krishna prema in this world feels great distress when he sees others without Krishna prema. Paraduka duhi. He made a vow. I will bring Krishna to this world because no one else can deliver these souls except Krishna. At the same time, we had in a cave, practically speaking, near Shantipur, there was Haridas Thakur chanting for the same cause. Haridas Thakur, he was classified as an untouchable. He was in his cave on the riverbank chanting 300,000 names every day, praying for Krishna to appear. And wherever he went, he was persecuted, he was rejected, he was criticized. His life was in danger. People were trying to destroy him. The Muslims hated him because he was a Muslim chanting Hare Krishna. And the Hindu Brahmins, the caste Brahmins, they hated him because he was coming from an untouchable class and chanting the Maha Mantra. Now, Advaita had read from the Gautamya Tantra that anyone who worships Vishnu with Ganges water and tulsi leaves will have the wish fulfilled. So there he was on the bank of the Ganga. He was worshipping Shalagram Shila, offering tulsi Ganga water, and he was crying. He was roaring loudly, chanting the holy names of the Lord. And ultimately, his prayers reached the heart of Lord Krishna. And when he came to Shantipur, Advaita Acharya embraced the untouchable. No, don't bring me in. I have something. I'll knock it over and spill it. Haridas Thakur was embraced by Advaita. Advaita was the highest Brahmin, and yet he was embracing the untouchable person who was loved and respected. They were embracing as equals due to their love for Krishna. Srila Prabhupada went to Shantipur to receive the blessings of Advaita Prabhu. Many times Lord Chaitanya said, I have come here only because Advaita Prabhu has called me. So when Krishna came to this world approximately 5,000 years ago, he performed his beautiful Vrindavan pastimes, what the Bhagavatam explains culminates in the Rasa Leela, Krishna's unlimited love for Radha and Krishna, the love that is the origin of all love. And Chaitanya, Prabhupada explained that to us in January of 67. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, Radha Bhavaduti Subalitam, Noma Krishna Swarpam, one who comes to taste the sweetness of Radha's love and distributes the love of Vrindavan, Sri Radha's love. Lord Chaitanya, Krishna, in the form of a devotee, teaches us by his example and the example of his devotees how to surrender to Krishna, giving the fallen Kali Yuga souls the opportunity to enter into the spiritual realm of Sri Vrindavan Dham. So today there are thousands of devotees living where those rice paddies once were. And the little straw hut, it's still there. The little straw hut where Srila Prabhupada lived and gave his vision. There's thousands of devotees of all nationalities living there. And the temple of the Vedic planetarium is being completed. It's a miracle of love. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur saw it in a vision, and his son, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, gave the order to carry out that vision to our Srila Prabhupada. And our only qualification comes through his compassion. Our only qualification to receive the supreme mercy of Lord Chaitanya is from the compassion of Srila Prabhupada. So I was given, like, I thought I had an hour, right? So then I saw the schedule, and I thought, oh, I don't have an hour. So then right before I came, I did a slash course, slash. So I kind of made it. I think I have 5 minutes. I just want to tell a sweet story, because I think many of you know about Jayananda, who was so dear to everyone, and particularly to Srila Prabhupada. And one time, all the devotees had gathered together, and it was Gaura Purnima coming, and Prabhupada's looking around the room. Where's Jayananda? And they said, oh, he's parking the van. So Prabhupada waited for Jayananda to come. And when he came, he was smiling so happily. Oh, Jayananda, you look just like Lord Chaitanya. Because he was from Ohio, by the way, big person. And Jayananda was such a humble person, he started to blush. So usually when you blush, your face gets a little red. The devotees were describing that day, he was getting red, and purple. He was feeling so embarrassed in front of everyone that Prabhupada had spoken to him in such a manner. But that is humility. It is something that enables you to actually understand Krishna consciousness. And it's not something you can make up. You can't fake it. Of course, we should try, you know, but humility is a very real thing. And Jayananda Prabhu was a very real devotee. And he had very real humility. So I would say if we can somehow or other latch on to that beautiful verse in the ISKCON, Trinada Peace, Mikina, Tara Peace, Krishna, Manimana Mudena, Kirtaniya Sadahari, that we all have a chance of latching onto the compassion of Srila Prabhupada and catching a little bit of the dust of Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet. Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai, Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai.
Yes, Malati Prabhu ki.
Jai.
Oh, I have something I want to tell you about, and this is really great. Everybody recognizes. Okay, not Haribol. Who is it? Who is it? Jagannath Swami Ki. And guess what? We're going to be having a festival of chariots, Rath Yatra, on June 14th from 3 to 8 p.m. Guess where? Huh? Walker Road, Hilliard, the site of the new temple that is coming up and up. So there will be a parade. There'll be kirtans and other music and there'll street food. What's that? I hope it's going to be street prasad food. It'll be a gift shop. Basically, it's going to be a parade of love, joy, and unity, reading from the poster. So please mark that on your calendar, 14th of June, and I'll see you all there.
Thank you, Malati Prabhu, for a beautiful class. So our next thing is, prayer. Next announcement from Srila Prabhu regarding location.
What Siksha program?
About Siksha program also. Do you want to? Somebody can bring the Chaitanya Charitamrita one step and the teachings of Lord Chaitanya is behind.
So Lord Chaitanya came.
Through mic.
Louder mic. Take a mic.
As we heard in the class, Lord Chaitanya waited for 11 months in the womb of his mother till it was eclipsed, so that everybody was chanting the holy name. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would cry as a baby and he would not stop until people would chant Hare Krishna Kirtan. So right from his childhood, he had this mission to make people chant the holy name. So following in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada also propagated this chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. And so as part of our ISKCON society, we have something what is called Shiksha program, where devotees take commitment to chant a certain number of rounds every day and follow certain principles of Krishna consciousness. So today we have a few devotees. Some of them are already chanting, but they are making it as a formal commitment to before Srila Prabhupada, before Malati Prabhu and all the devotees.
And Kamagiri Devi.
And Mataji and everybody else.
Yadavacharya, I think I saw him also.
They're all witness. And I was expecting the curtains to be open so Ratan Akbar can also witness the...
Don't worry, they can see.
Yes, here we have Krishna Balaram and then we have all the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakurs there. So everybody is a witness to your commitment. So we will I will speak out the name and Malati Prabhu will give the certificate in appreciation for every devotee who's
I mean, is that going to work? Maybe we can just, anyway, we can try, because I just.
They can come and so everybody can know who they are.
Okay, but,
And
okay.
to make a commitment is easy, to break a commitment is easy, right? But to maintain the commitment, as we all know, is very difficult. So to maintain the commitment, you have to come regularly in the association of devotees. You have to read the books of Srila Prabhupada. There are so many programs going on, and you can connect to any of these things so that you can remain inspired. And then we will also be checking on you from time to time how you're doing with your commitments. So.
But checking to help, not to like,
Yeah.
oh, what are you doing? I hope.
What can we do to, if you are deviating, then what can we do to help you? Okay, so the first person is Bianca Davis.
Oh,
She is going to take a vow to chant 1 round every day.
thank you very much.
Neha. So Neha Kanakia, she is going to take a vow to chant 1 round.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Devotees, you can pay appreciation much louder.
Yeah.
Somebody's taking vows. It's a joy to see them. Please, louder.
Margi Patel. Where is Margi? She's here.
Yeah, she's here. I think
Okay,
she's
but let's
outside.
move on so we.
Okay.
We'll
We have
get-
Shani, her husband also is there here. He may be also outside. Okay. Yash Patel. Huh? Okay, we have lack of space here. So then we'll call Juhi Patel. She's going to take 4 rounds.
Good for you. Good for you, and thank you very much.
Margie's here.
Margi, yeah. Please come.
Haribo.
Thank you very
She's going
much.
to chant 1 round every day. And this is for the rest of your life. Minimum one, yes. Then we have a Gopa Kumar. He's going to chant 16 rounds every day.
He's coming, Prabhu, he's coming. Shh. Shh. Go for Haribo.
We have Bharat Patel. He's already chanting for 1 year or more, 2 years, and he's going to chant 16 rounds. He has made it as a commitment now. So Bharat Patel. We have Krishna Prasad. Is Krishna Prasad here?
Yeah, you are.
Krishna Prasad is going to chant 4 rounds every day. Then we have Tina. Is Tina here?
Tina Mataji.
They are in the kitchen.
She's going to chant 4 rounds every day. She chants more than 4, but at least 4 rounds. She's going to chant nicely, not when driving or anything like that. She chants 16 rounds. And her son, Kabir. Kabir is outside. Okay. Then we have Venkat Prabhu who stays in the temple. He is going to chant 4 rounds every day. He's taking a vow today. So, Venkat Prabhu is not. Okay. Shani. Chant 1 round every day. Is Deepika here?
Yes, she was.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
she's good.
So Deepika is taking a vow to chant 8 rounds every day.
Just note, on some of these, you're gonna see Kamagaya, I was just dealing with a girl, Kamagiri's name, and you get, because we were doing this together, but then the logistics didn't work out, so.
Is Archestita here? Archestita?
Kabir, come. Kabir.
Kabir.
Kabir is here.
No, can you
We're going to chant 4 rounds every day.
Haribol.
Bharat Prabhu is here. Friends to Bharat.
Yeah, so Bharat Prabhu he's been chanting for over like 1 year, about 2 years. 2 years. So I told him he should chant now 25 rounds, he should take a vow. Because I'm good at 16 now. And Venkat Prabhu, yes. He's going to chant 4 rounds every day. Okay, there are some absentia, so we'll have to work on them later. Thank you. And yeah, we have the books. So Malati Prabhu was talking about teachings of Lord Chaitanya. It's a summarized form of teachings of Lord Chaitanya, and you can get it for $8. And Gaur Purnima discount is $10, but you will get it for $8. So if anybody wants, you can get it personally from Malati Prabhu, or not right now. Okay. So later on, you can.
It's available, here's what you're looking for, and this is really interesting, because he said this is interesting, because he said this is a summary of the TLC, and the TLC is a summary of the CC, of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this is definitely a quick version, I highly recommend it, at least this is like getting your feet wet. Hare Krishna.
And we have the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita that was published in 3 months, as 2 months. Malati Prabhu said it was an impossible task. Prabhupada was told, and Prabhupada inspired everybody. And this is like, we are giving it a discounted price of $120 for the whole set. So if you want, today is a good day to get Chaitanya Charitamrita. Please see.
Any day is a good day to get a Chaitanya Charitamrita, but on the advent of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then it quadruples more and more, millions of times benefit by taking this book into your house and taking it out of the box and putting it on yourself and then taking it one by one, opening the cover and starting to read it. And you will find yourself in a situation that you never, in a world, a transcendental world that you had never even imagined. Very deep book.
Thank you. So we'll move on to the next part of the program, which is the drama. Oh no, regular school. Kamgiri Mataji is in here.
Can you mention about Srila Prabhupada's mentioning that the Chaitanya Charitamrita is like a Bengali sweet?
He said it was our Bengali suite. With Radha Damodar, we were tasked with, after Prabhupada got the last volumes of printing, we were tasked, Radha Damodar party, all the buses went to LA. They put all books under the bus, all on top of the bus. So we had the temple room, we had to sleep on top of the books. And our temple bus leader said, if you want to sleep on the floor, you better distribute all the books. But Prabhupada said Chaitanya Charitamrita was our Bengali suite.
Hare Krishna. Devotees, I have been asked to announce about the new temple. New temple will be done and will have the occupancy in October of this year. We're very grateful to all of you. Actually, the general contractor who's finishing the temple We are signing the contract today with him. And the contract is to get the occupancy of the temple in October of this year. And then devotees are working. We have made a decision to finish the whole temple, 31,000 square foot building with 3 kitchens. There'll be Govindas, there'll be gift shop, and beautiful place, 55 acres of land. We'll have tours. We have several big events coming up, Rath Yatra coming up. Devotees, when we went to buy the land, we had no money. When we started this project 8 years ago, we had no money. It's a $14 million project, and till today, we have raised $10 million in pledges and cash. And this has been possible because of all of your support, all of your hard work, book distribution, so many events devotees have done, from home programs to Damodar programs to so many events and so many festivals, and ultimately it's Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grace, blessings of Mother Malati, Mother Kamagiri, Yadavacharya Prabhu, Akheshwar Pandit Prabhu, and all of your support and help, and Govinda Prabhu's rocking kirtans. So we are about $4 million. Hare Krishna. Shri Shri Radhanatbar ki, Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Surabhara ki, Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Just one last thing, devotees. We're about $4 million short, and our goal, our hope, our dream is to actually build this temple. When this temple opens in October, we want to open it with 0 loan. You can help. Our life membership, as you know, is $10,000, which you can give over a period of 2 or 3 years. So somebody gives $10,000, they can do $3,000 a year. $50,000 can be divided into $10,000 every year for 4 or 5 years. So like that, we would encourage everyone to just do a little bit more, whatever you can do. And everything is going to go in the sacrificial fire of construction. Because every money you give, every dollar you give, it's less loan on us. Right? A $4 million loan, the interest at 6% is about $250,000 a year. That money can be used for so many things. So much good can be done. For $250,000, you can start a small center somewhere in a college town every year. So that's our hope. We are about 70% there. And much gratitude to all of you. Thank you, all of you. Everybody has made sacrifice. We're very grateful to you. This center will always remain as a vibrant Krishna conscious hub, a Krishna house. Yes. And then our center in Athens is doing well, and then many, many more centers will come. So thank you all. Anything, Chandra Prabhu, you have the contract in your hand. Is the person here?
He's outside, I could not find him.
Okay.
But he'll be coming today.
He'll be coming today. So Chandra Prabhu has the contract, which basically takes us from this point on to the completion of the building and the certificate of occupancy to ISKCON. And after that, it will be a period of some time, so that we can get the building ready for Shri Shri Radhanatbar. Devotees, including Naveen Krishna Prabhu, Prem Sindhu Prabhu, we have a wonderful, wonderful team of devotees. They're already thinking much ahead, how to get the whole temple organized, how to start the temple, how to welcome Shri Shri Radhanatbar. But it will be a beautiful, beautiful offering. And thank you all very much. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Anything, Naveen Prabhu, you want to add? Prem Sindhu, you want to add?
Yeah. Hare Krishna devotees, our next program is drama by Sunday school kids.
So, they do it here?
Yeah, they will do it here, so we'll make some space here.
I have a question about the keyboard. Oh, yeah. We were right in the middle of it.